Joe Biden has accused Boris Johnson of inflaming Irish tensions. He asked his most senior diplomat here in the UK to have a word with our Brexit minister. That's Lord David Frost, the man who negotiated the Brexit deal with the EU, and basically said that the government here was inflaming tensions in Ireland and Europe with its opposition to checks at ports in the province. This over sausage meat, medicines and the like. Well, is that the case? Let's talk to Sammy Wilson MP. He's the DUP's Brexit spokesman. Good morning to you, Sammy.
Good morning.
It seems to me that it's quite clear to me that the only inflaming that's going on is Joe Biden putting his tuppence worth in, and the as the Americans often do over this, mainly because of the Irish vote in America. Very little to do with their genetic heritage. It's more down to do the votes they can get in the future. But also the EU deliberately inflaming every single issue and every single crossed T and dotted I in a provocative move. Do you think it's the British or the EU or the Americans who are inflaming?
Oh, I think there's no doubt about it that the EU are certainly inflaming the situation here in Northern Ireland. I mean, not only do we have a protocol which in itself was damaging to the economic prospects in Northern Ireland and also our constitutional situation, but then the EU go even further and insist that the terms of the protocol are extended. I mean, on one hand, they claim that they want to try and alleviate some of the problems, some of the economic problems, that they want to try and reach an agreement. And only this week, they're now telling us that not only are we not allowed to import meat into Northern Ireland, we're not going to be able to import biscuits because they have milk powder contained in their ingredients. And at the same time, the protocol itself was never designed to do what the EU are saying it's now to do, because any goods which come into Northern Ireland not going into the rest of the EU were to be exempt from checks. Yet they've insisted that all goods are checked. Julia, this is an amazing figure. There are more checks of goods coming into Northern Ireland than all the checks that occur on goods coming through the eastern boundaries of the European Union with countries such as Russia, Belarus, and other major smuggling routes. Yet the EU say that they're being proportionate.
Yeah, I mean, that is an extraordinary fact, and that tells us everything we need to do. And as we were discussing with the government minister a little while ago, the fact that it was under EU rules that we had the horse meat lasagna scandal, for goodness sake, and that was actually within the EU. But this is the thing: there is no reason for the EU to think that goods coming in from the British mainland into Northern Ireland are a risk in any way to people, health-wise or any other way, to those in the Republic of Ireland or anywhere else in the EU. But they were adamant that their whole issue was that they needed to prevent there being any sort of border, any sort of checks, hard border, or any version of any border at all between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. But they seem to be remarkably relaxed about putting that border down the Irish Sea. Now, the reality is that Boris Johnson did sign up to this, and quite a lot of people pointing out, well, this is what he signed up to, clearly in the hope that there would be this fudge, which everyone was expecting and hoping. But the EU have decided to go with the letter of the law and take it to its extremes. But that was always a risk.
Well, it was always a risk, and we always warned that this was going to happen. Because, of course, what the EU are doing is nothing to do with the security of their single market. It's nothing to do with goods flowing through Northern Ireland. Because, of course, as you've pointed out, British standards currently are the same as the standards in the rest of the EU. So there's no danger of contaminated meat leaving Britain, going through Northern Ireland, going into the EU. And secondly, 95% of the goods which come into Northern Ireland don't go any further than Northern Ireland. And yet every good has to be checked. But if you notice, the EU have proposed a solution to this. And their solution is that the United Kingdom forever align themselves to EU regulations in terms of food, in terms of animal veterinary standards, etc. This is an attempt by the EU to use Northern Ireland to drag the United Kingdom as a whole back into single market rules. It's a blatant attempt. And, they risk the peace in Northern Ireland. They stir up fears in Northern Ireland in order to try and undo the negotiations that they had with the United Kingdom, because they still can't accept that we have decided to leave the EU, and they're trying to find ways of imposing their laws on not
This
just Northern
is
Ireland, the whole of
this
the
is
United Kingdom.
this is a punishment for Brexit, isn't it?
It's not only a punishment for Brexit, it's also an attempt to undo Brexit, because Northern Ireland is a Trojan horse which they're using. They say they create the problem, first of all, by imposing all of these checks which are disrupting the Northern Ireland economy and causing tensions in Northern Ireland. Then they propose a solution. The solution is, if the United Kingdom as a whole aligned itself with EU laws, then there wouldn't be a problem.
Ta-da!
So they're using Northern Ireland to try and undo Brexit. And my solution for Boris Johnson is simply say, look, that trade which goes into the EU, and those very small number of companies, about 5% of companies in Northern Ireland which trade with the Irish Republic, let them be subject to scrutiny, that they abide by EU regulations, but let the rest of the country and the business in Northern Ireland operate under British law, rather than impose EU law on Northern Ireland, and as a result of that, bring about these checks.
DUP Brexit spokesman Sammy Wilson, thank you very much indeed.